Hi everyone, I'm Daniel. Welcome to this video of mine. First, I'd like to highlight my lip. I don't know if you can tell, but it is fairly swollen. I did get bit by a bug last night while I was trying to fall asleep. It swelled up pretty bad, but it did stabilize, and the swelling is continuing to go down. Now, I highlight this because I would have very much have preferred to wait for this to become normal in order to film another video to put out there to you, the public. But today's video is on vulnerability, and I felt called to do this today as soon as possible, because I do very much feel in a vulnerable place in my life, and I know that a lot of people can relate to this, and I'm sure a lot of men can relate to this as well. But as a man, I certainly didn't feel safe, perhaps, in the past when I didn't really have anybody in my life that I can share these feelings and thoughts and emotions of vulnerability with. And in the past, I certainly did many things to try to repress them, try to mend them. But I thought I would share some of my thoughts and perspectives in a video to put out those for others that may be looking for support. Oftentimes support is just knowing someone else is going through some of the similar things that you are. And I personally do believe that we are all connected. We are part of one consciousness, one source of life, one source of creation, but each of us is equally a creator of our own life as well. But we are each collectively co-creating the experience. So we are very much connected in ways that our thinking, our logical, perceiving mind may not be able to understand fully. I don't know if it ever will, frankly, if we will ever be able to truly understand what it is we are going through, exactly who it is that we are. Yes, we have names, but these names were given to us by these other people who got their names from other people, etc. But are we just our names? So if someone does not understand the name of something, do they not know what it is? Like if someone from another culture looks at a tree and you don't have the same words for a tree, can you not point, and do they not understand that it's a tree based on their... So that is just kind of what I'm saying. So just to share a perspective is part of the whole perspective. And for me, being an empath, very sensitive as well, and I do first and foremost take on the perspective of others as well, in that I consider, because I'm an empath and I'm so openly, emotionally open, I feel the emotions of those around me, and I also try to take on the different perspectives to understand those emotions as well. So for me, right now I'm very much struggling with what best to do in life. I left my day job earlier this year, a sales job, and I was previously in sales and customer service for a good 20 years, since my mid-teens. But I did decide to leave because I personally could no longer be part of that for myself, knowing that there was other possibilities. Coming to an understanding, a deeper understanding of what life is, what this experience is, and to realize for myself, for life, that it can be so much more. But I also understand where I come from, and that's from a place of great fear and anxiety, and holding oneself back, and limited thinking, and not having any options or hope about being able to live the kind of life that I really wanted to live, to now knowing that I can take steps towards that. But at the same time, how do you do that in this society where everything is telling you to do it this way or that way? You may have started from the parents or the caregivers, and then on with institutions and teachers and peers and different influencers, and then media and advertising. So all the things that are out there influencing us to make these decisions. But is it based on our own interest, or is it based on the interest of the thing that is creating that notion or that draw towards it? So realizing that my whole life I've been trying to thinking that I had to follow things outside of myself, but in really inside of me, I was never able to do that. So I was never able to really complete school properly. Let's just say in high school I didn't graduate right away, and in college I did drop out because it really for me wasn't the right way of learning life, because I always felt the limitations of it. And really because inside myself I knew it wasn't right for me, so I just somehow was not able to do it. But I also became very depressed and down on myself and completely in judgment of myself for not being able to do what other people are doing. Now I realize it is very much conforming to viewpoints outside of yourself in ways. Now, of course, this is a very seemingly standard thing. Everyone goes to class and goes to school. That's certainly what I thought. Everyone just goes to school and then gets a career and then earns up for enough retirement and then they can die happy. But as life goes on and I see the systems around me crumble, and I know that, and just seeing what's happening in the world, and then coming to more and more understanding and realization of the kind of people that have created this and are in control of all of this, and where do we expect that can go, really? That system that's been a self-perpetuating greed system that's further enslaving more and more people and taking away from the freedom and the possibilities and the true power of more and more people. It is collapsing onto itself. We see the evidence of it in the world today. So for me, it's very hard for me to go back to being connected with anything that's connected to that, in a sense. For I do believe personally now a greater beauty in the notion of life that I previously never gave myself permission to, which is why I was living with intense feelings of hopelessness, of despair, of suffering for many years. I felt like from my mid-teens to my mid-20s it was just really, really tough emotionally, tons of anxiety and just emotional fear and pain, to the point where it was hard for me to leave my basement room, even to go outside, because I was afraid that people would see me and feel me and judge me because they know the mistakes and all of the failures I created in my life. Because being an empath myself, because I was able to feel everything, I thought, and with my perspective, I was able to, at the very least, try to understand people and other people. I thought everyone was like that, and they were just hiding it or not able to. I do realize all of our experiences are so different in that no one of us is able to truly understand another. Even twins, I don't know if they'll really be able to understand. Who can say? How can one person be able to completely, from all aspects, show another how one is experienced, one's life is experienced? So I realize now that each of us is unique, completely unique, and the way we see things and experience things also is completely unique. Now I believe not just based on this lifetime's evolution, but all of consciousness, all of human history's evolution. And depending on the lineage, our ancestral lineage, our blood lineage, spirit, soul lineage. So, and of course, all these notions can seem hoopla. I myself, just 3 years prior, upon hearing this, would have still been very cautious to identify with it, definitely. I would have been open-minded to it, because I am open-minded to all perspectives, because I recognize every notion is valid in that it was created from a source that creates notions, just like we are created from a source that creates life, just like everything is created from a source that creates life or ideas or energies. So there's no need to really understand life, I realize. And for me, following this path and coming to this place in my life now, I very much have jumped off the cliff. And it's a funny thing, searching for your wings and learning to fly. Because for me, I realized this is the life path that I chose. For so long, I thought my options in order to be happy was to get one of the coveted careers of society for men. I just was not able to really do that, even though I started achieving great success in sales and retail. But I realized I should achieve that success by learning how to be more myself and learning how to enjoy life more, learning how to take care of myself, how to think better and let go of the negative thought patterns and judgments and prejudices. And by learning how to become more open-minded, my life started to open up as well. And it's this experience where I realized that the microcosm and macrocosm of everything, in that life is, all the elements in life are so interconnected, interrelated in ways that are so intricate that our conscious minds, I don't know if they'll be able to understand or be able to grasp how it actually works. Just like science now, more and more scientists are realizing that we may actually create what we expect to create or observe what we expect to observe. So what does that tell you about any kind of scientific study or science in general? We created it, just like everything is created by humans or life or something created from life. So we are all just interacting with each other in a lot of ways. And so how do I understand what that means for my life? Is knowing that for me is trying to understand how to do what you're supposed to do. It may not be the best thing, but is to actually go out and do it, is to go out and feel it, and like trying different activities and seeing which ones make you come alive, and then considering and then using your logic to try to now work with your feelings and your intuition to maybe help yourself understand how you can bring about more of that, and then how you can help others experience more of that as well. Because due to the interconnectedness of life, and I believe Source is always trying to expand, and universe is abundant, and it's eternal, it's infinite, it's an infinite source of creation. But because we are creators, and we are each creators of our own life, and with the notions that we've come to learn with thoughts is limited, is scarcity. There's only a finite amount of resources. There's only so much water and so much plants and so much food on the earth, and we need to try to save enough for ourselves. So it's understanding that things can be taken care of if you start contributing your part. And for me, your true part is the one that brings you alive, that gives you a sense of engagement and enthusiasm, and also great excitement and great fear, and perhaps great resistance. It's very much perhaps the area or the direction that would bring you the most amount of breakthrough will at first have the most amount of resistance. For me, just like this video I recorded before, before I started recording, I was pacing around for a good more than an hour, just doing little chores, tidying up, making sure everything was ready by delaying, because that was resistance, because that is what I know I want to do, but it's something not, but at the same time it's something completely strange. I mean, for me, just a few years prior to this thing would have been petrifying. Like, I had a phobia in terms of being public speaking or being shown to the public. Most of my life, since my conscious mind developed, I developed that phobia of completely, of social anxiety, of social phobia, of complete fear, petrifying fear of speaking in front of public or sharing with more than one person at a time who I am or what I'm going through. Because I guess I was afraid to be judged, for sure. And I also have an innate understanding, because of who I am and having chosen to be an empath and very sensitive, understanding each perspective is completely unique, and there can be resistance or contrast caused by one perspective to another. So I never wanted to, and I was very much had this sense of not wanting to create any kind of negative or conflicting energy. So I was always trying to be the aspect that would not conflict, but all aspects are different. So I knew that if I was trying to cater or enable or whatever to one, I might offend others. So that's one aspect of why I just never could show myself in front of people. So now, of course, I do tend to sometimes lose myself in trains of thought, but I do tend to try to bring myself back. And of course, that's with being afraid and knowing that what you're afraid of the most might be what will bring you the most amount of aliveness. Because for me, this is something that would have, the whole notion of showing myself and putting myself out there was my worst fear. But at the same time, I know that is what my heart calls out for me to do. That is what my soul chose. That is what spirit is encouraging and supporting me with, all of the universe, I believe. So because I'm here to share with people that may benefit from this message, just what we are, and that is love, and that is courage. We are also fear, and we are also violence and pain and judgment, but we are also compassion and forgiveness and healing and awesomeness and craziness and aliveness. But it is what we get to choose what we are. And when we are willing to choose what we are, we can start from anywhere, just by choosing the emotional state that we are in right now, or choosing the kind of afternoon that we are going to have tonight or today, or the kind of evening we will have. Then we start taking control of our own lives, not the control of the things we want to be in control of maybe, but our emotions and our enjoyment of our life. And then that will lead us more to be able to try things that might bring us further to a life path, a life purpose, a career, a way of life that will create for you the abundance that you need for all your other areas, and you be supported. Because I believe that we are meant to, because we are very much a community. We can very much thrive if we did live more as a community. But currently, we are living as a community based on the rules set by a group of people that want to take from us our power by putting us against each other and putting us against ourselves. I know that is exactly what I was doing since my conscious mind beginning to wake up, because I learned to go against myself in my own mind, just in myself, because I learned from the people around me and from the vibrations and the messages around me. And I replicated that. And because right now with so much violence and judgments and conditions in order to be happy, in order to give or to love, that becomes us unless we choose otherwise, unless we choose unconditional lovingness towards life, towards ourselves, towards others. So to get a sense of how you would best want to be and what will help you do that, I feel may be the best way to go. It's not about changing jobs necessarily if you hate your job, if you always want to change it, but it is about knowing that it is possible for you to get to a better place, either with your job or with yourself, so that you can change the relationship you have with the job, or with the relationship that you're struggling with, or with the non-relationship that you haven't been able to find. Like me, I myself, I wasn't able to date due to emotional anxiety and fear for 12 years of my life, from age 18 to 30. Now I am married to the most amazing, beautiful woman who is so amazing to me and has really helped me find myself and given myself permission to be myself. And it took me, I realized, years of step-by-step getting to the place where I was being willing to accept someone like her and something like this into my life. And it's a step-by-step process, and we're all very much always on our own journeys. And it's kind of a journey of resistance or bravery towards your joy and love. And everyone will have completely different paths and what that means to them. One person may seem complete opposite to another's greatest path or most fulfilling path, but that's the way it goes. But currently the world, I feel, is there's judgment about what is supposed to be the good life, or what we're supposed to do, especially as a man. I certainly felt all these messages of these ways of being that I really was not able to be, but then I would berate myself, and then I thought I wasn't a man because I wasn't being the kind of alpha, macho, competitive, trounce on your enemy man that society or whatever is trying to tell me to be. I realized that was a false notion. Those were messages I was sold. I was personally brainwashed by all sorts of different things because I agreed to it. I agreed to buy into it, and I agreed to then judge myself in comparison to others and berate myself for not being able to do what I thought others or I should be doing. But now I'm doing very much, trying my best to follow my heart and do what helps make me feel good. And that is to share, one way is to share what I've gone through and how my mind has opened up and my heart has opened up based on my own actions and my own encouragement of them to open up step by step. I did in my own way. I made sure I added joy to it. I made sure I did as much as I can to nurture myself and those around me. So, and that's all you can do is step by step. And for me, being a perfectionist, there's always going to be ways that I judge myself of how I could have been better or whatnot. And that is another, I just have to realize whenever there is anything that's causing negative emotions in me by trying to parent me or criticize me, I have to look at that and know that that's a voice that is there to support me, but it's a voice that I listened to in the past and that I've been hurt by very much. But now I don't have to listen to it. I can very much make sure that it knows that I know it's there and that I love it for being there. But it's okay, I don't have to listen to it, and it's okay if I do listen to it sometimes. And So it is about taking it easy on yourself, and it's okay if if I don't know exactly how I'm supposed to do this. I certainly had no idea how this video was, where it was gonna go when I first started it. I just knew I was very vulnerable and in a place that I didn't know how to do what I was supposed to do, and that is be this catalyst for the awakening of others. But I do realize how I've awakened in my own life by letting go of just some of the pain and some of the ways that I was abusing myself internally, or just through different ways I was not letting myself be happy. And that we are all connected, so good done anywhere is good done everywhere. So I feel that when I help myself, I open up the energy so that others may start choosing to help themselves, because that's very much, I realize, the only way is to start being willing to help ourselves, to listen to ourselves, to let ourselves actually take it easy and breathe and to enjoy it. So yes, so no worries at all if you have no idea. Just, for me, choose to feel better as much as you can. Choose to do things that help make you feel better. Either we're nurturing your body, nurturing your mind, people around you, going out there to connect with nature, because nature is always cradling and nurturing you. And try new things, and find intimacy with people in your life. That is certainly, for me, as I certainly realized, that's probably the biggest key, is the fact that I found my partner in life, and she has helped me know myself more. And we know ourselves more by being willing to know others, I feel. And that may not be people, that may be animals, maybe aspects of nature. Nature is very much alive. Maybe aspects of spirit. The spirit is very much alive. So being willing to open up to have nurturing and intimate relationships in your life. So you can say to yourself, I open to intimate and nurturing and loving relationships into my life. Thank you. So you may say that to yourself as an affirmation, as an energy, because our thoughts do welcome in our future realities. So start to take it easy, start to being willing to feel better, however you choose to do that. Please do contact me if you have any questions about feeling vulnerable, wherever you may be in life. If you're a man or a woman, I can certainly relate to the men that perhaps don't know who they can come to talk with. Know that I am here for those that are seeking for spiritual counsel, for men, for women, for children, what have you. I certainly remember how much I suffered as a kid, and I would be glad to open to anyone. And so contact me if you just need someone to talk to. Okay? Okay. Go and enjoy yourselves. Take it easy. Breathe. Thank you. Bye-bye now.